What are you being groomed for? What have you been groomed for? Ask yourself that question, because that's a real important question. What are you being groomed for? What have you been groomed for? If you look at what you are accepting in life, if you look at where you are in life, if you look at the way that you handle situations in life, if you look at the way you even look at yourself, then those will be hints and indications of what you have been groomed for. If you grow up in a home as a kid, or even as a young adult, if you grow up or even as an adult, but we're going to say like a young adult, a kid, if you grow up in a home where you're watching patterns and habits that are positive, that's grooming you. That's grooming you on how to handle life. However, if you grow up in an environment where there's a lot of negativity, there may be drug abuse, there may be physical abuse, there may be poverty, or you see, you see like a lot of the negative vibes of life, then that is what is grooming you. And unless you change your perspective on things, or unless you change the dynamics once you grow up, or whenever you are a kid, if you're hanging around somebody else who's more of a positive influence, but you choose to take on that influence, which is sometimes rare, because most of the time you take on the influences of your immediate environment. But that's what's grooming you. That is what's grooming you to be who you are today. If you are now in a situation where you're in abuse, mental abuse, emotional abuse, why are you there? Why do you stay? Is it the result of how you have been groomed? Is it the result of how you were groomed to handle that situation? You have to ask yourself, you have to be perfectly honest with yourself. You have to be perfectly honest with yourself. Is it the way that you were groomed? You don't know how, you don't have the know-how to get out. Or maybe you think it's normal. Or maybe you think you don't deserve more. Maybe you saw, your immediate environment growing up in the same scenario, so you just feel like that's a part of life. Perhaps that's the way you were groomed. So I want us today to really think about grooming, the grooming process. How have you been shaped? How have you been molded and tapered to a certain person, place, or thing? How are you being affiliated with that thing? Because if you see a dog, for an example, and you've been groomed to be afraid of dogs, then I don't care if it's a puppy or what, you're going to be afraid of that dog. And I'll use myself as an example, because I was afraid of dogs. And I didn't like dogs. I did not like dogs. But whenever I was married and stuff, my ex-husband, he got a puppy Rottweiler. And I didn't like it at first. It was cute. I must admit. But at a certain point, a couple of days in, I didn't even go around the dog. I didn't go around it. I was like, I do not like dogs. So a couple of days in, I remember the dog started like how crying a little bit, you know how they start whimpering or whatever, and he was in like the laundry room in a gate, and you know, with the baby gate, so he couldn't come out, you know, but he was so small, you know, he was just like laying around, but he was whimpering. So I just said, man, he's probably like missing his mama dog and all of those puppies that she had or whatever. So I just determined then, I said, you know what, I said, I'm not going to be mean to that dog, you know, I'm just going to like conquer my fears, and I'm going to like try. So I did, and that was like my favorite dog, well, my only dog really, but that was my favorite dog, and I really grew to love that dog, you know, but I had to conquer my fears of just always thinking that dogs were just like, no, I didn't like dogs, you know. So once I tried, there was a different aspect. I began to like it. So did I let people call me that dog's mama? No, now I don't go that far. I just don't think that I'm that dog's mama. I know I'm not that dog's mama. You know how some people say, you know, that's your baby, or your you know, to the dog be like, go to your mama. No, I am D. I'm not mama. So yeah, I didn't get that far. But anyway, so you have to pay attention of how you are groomed, because some grooming is just like unrealistic. You have to look at that grooming and decide if it was truth or if it was error. And just because your mama or your dad taught it to you, or you got it from them, that doesn't make it right. That doesn't make it right, because who did they get it from? Who did they allow to groom them? So if the grooming process continues generation after generation after generation, and if it's been error, then all of that grooming is just error. I don't care who mimicked the pattern or the habits, whoever mimics it, it's still error. So you have to like look at that and get your life better. You know, my goal is to bring awareness and bring attention to topics that would maybe give an aha moment to say, yeah, or to make you like look at it. And I'm not saying that everything that I say may be right for you. And I'm not even saying that everything I say, I could be wrong in some aspects. But I wholeheartedly believe in what I'm saying, you know, but I could be wrong. You know, so you have to research things for yourself. You have to research and you have to study things out for yourself and grab a hold to that. You have to grab a hold to what you groom yourself to be. You have to grab a hold to the fact that you are fearfully and wonderfully made, and you have to develop you. You have to develop you. You have to figure out who you are. You have to figure out your identity. You have to figure out what you like, what you don't like. You have to figure out your clothing style. You have to figure out how you want to wear your hair. You have to figure out if you want to put lip gloss on your lips, or some lip color, you know, some lipstick. You have to figure it out. You have to figure it out. You have to figure out if you're in a toxic marriage, say, for instance. You have to figure out, you know, am I doing anything to contribute to this? Am I doing anything to contribute to this toxicity? Am I doing anything? And if you are, then guess what? You have to determine if you want to like change the narrative and work with your partner and see if you can fix it. You have to figure that out. You can't let anybody else figure that out for you. You have to figure that out. And then again, you have to figure out, okay, I'm in this toxic marriage, so there's something going on that gives me a way of escape out of it. You know what I mean? So you have to like figure out, you have to take the time to figure it out. You have to take the time to dissect the situation, you have to take the time to unpack everything that's going on and lay all the facts out on the table. You have to lay all the facts out on the table. Now, if you are really wanting your marriage and everything, pray, which you should always pray. Man should always pray, but pray for the reconciliation and pray for the strength, and just pray, and just pray. However, if there's infidelity in the union, continual infidelity, the other partner don't even wanna like get in line with the truth. They don't want to get in line with right standing. Then you have to figure that out too. You have to figure out what you want to do. You have to figure it out, because people can always say, no, don't do this or don't do that. You know what? Have your own opinions. Read the word, have your own relationship, and listen to what the Lord tells you. Listen to what the Lord tells you. Because some people, you could be getting battered every day or every other day, and some people will say, well, just go home and just continue to pray about it. The Lord is going to work it out. The Lord is going to work it out. But you're getting battered year after year after year. You're the one walking around carrying those bruises. You better figure it out for yourself. Don't take that counsel. Don't take that counsel. To be working it out is for you to leave that situation. Because sometimes you have like murderers, you have batterers, you have very toxic people that you may connect yourselves with, and they will kill you. They will eventually kill you if you don't leave the situation. So you have to take the counsel that that the Lord is giving you. You have to follow that direction. You have to follow that direction. Have your relationship with the Lord, and you ask Him to lead and guide you into all truth. Ask Him to lead and guide you. And that's not to speak down on teachers and counselors and evangelists, your pastors, your prophets. That's not to speak down on them, not at all. But whenever somebody is like just randomly just telling you something like that, especially if you know that the Lord is telling you something different, you better listen to the voice of the Lord. Whose report are you going to believe? Whose report are you going to believe? So yeah, just groom yourself in your today. Who are you today? What are you still carrying with you today that needs to be taken off? Unpack the habits, unpack the patterns, the toxic patterns, even the good patterns and the good habits. Unpack them too, so you can even see what you're working with. It's okay. You have to develop yourself. You have to develop yourself. You have to develop. So yeah, just take the time to develop yourself. Take the time to get it right, because the scripture says that our latter will be better than our beginnings. And the way that this happens is you gain knowledge, you gain wisdom, you gain strength, you gain truth, so that you can make those proper decisions so that your latter can be good. You gain the tools and you gain the skills to develop into a right standing person where you can reap the benefits of goodness. You can reap the benefits. You can reap the benefits. So yeah, just take the time to develop. Take the time to groom yourself, and pay attention to those people, the younger people, your children who are watching you. Because guess what? You are grooming them. You are grooming them from what they see you do. You you are grooming them to be passive. You are grooming them to be a pushover. You are grooming them to be a bully. You are grooming them from them watching you. So be careful. Be careful. Okay, thank you guys for listening, and thank you for watching. And until we meet again.